Hello, good people. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on what part of the globe you find yourself in. And welcome to today's mini series. From now till the new year, I may or may not be doing videos on a daily basis, but I'll be more frequent because I'm now on holidays. And I don't think I have anything specifically an event planned for the holidays. So, yeah, I'll be spending my time with whoever chooses to come online with me. So, what are we talking about today? If you are new to the channel, if this is your first time seeing me, I did a video and I titled it Take It With a Pinch of Salt, where I was talking about how people get carried away with the negativity that surrounds celebrities in the news or on social media. Now, having said that and made that video, there are certain reasons why I now and then watch celebrity gossip news. So, if you are morally disciplined, because it has nothing to do with religion, but a morally disciplined person knows that time is the most valuable currency we have, and it doesn't change its value, it keeps on appreciating the older we get. So, the one thing, unfortunately, the downside of it is that once you lose it, unlike the dollar or your investment that can appreciate and depreciate, once more time is gone, we never get it back. Okay. Another thing that a morally disciplined person knows is that no matter how good, how well you are, how upright you are, there is always something negative that will be said about you. You can be as morally upright as you want, you can do good to the people, and yet people will find something bad to say about you just to tarnish your image, or people will just have a problem with your character, because what happens most times is that when we look at others, they are a reflection of ourselves. They are like mirrors, and when we cannot see the good in others and ourselves, we tend to criticize that, or we tend to make light of the good that others do simply because we didn't think of doing it, or we are not able to do it, and so we try to minimize or trivialize the good deeds or good characters of other people, right? So, when it comes to celebrity gossip, I do not really engage in it because of the juicy stories. But what I do, or what I've noticed that the positive aspect of celebrity gossip can be, is there are so many information depending on who is sharing that information. Now, for many people on YouTube, they come with celebrity gossip with the sole motive of drawing people to their channel and then generate money. They're not bothered about how authentic that person is, in what light they throw that person, or with what brush they paint the person. All they want to do is just to bring you entertainment news, just to get paid and just to get their channel busy and get traffic, like they say. So there are some people also who, when they talk about celebrity news, they talk about character flaws and character strengths in these celebrities they are talking about. One of such persons that I follow is Nezefil. Most of you from Nigeria will know her, who, as a lawyer, knows the can appreciate what it is, what it means to tarnish someone's image, and therefore she does due diligence before bringing up a celebrity news. She does her research, she tells you the good side, the background, and their struggles before they attain the fame that makes them people's interest today. And that is why I follow people who follow that pattern when they report celebrity news or gossip. Another person that I like to listen to her when she reports on celebrities is Fomide Saluvold. In her case, what she does is that there is always a moral behind a story, the struggle, the success, or the resilience of a personality that she's talking about. Now, what I've noticed when it comes to these people is that despite the fact that they are popular or they are wealthy or whatever, they are at the end of it all, at the bottom of it all, they are humans. Being humans, they are subjected to change. Life happens, life deals them a terrible blow, life gives them lemons, they try to make lemonade out of it. Um, and they survive. Some don't make good choices, yes, but then that is just who they are. So for us to now come out and think because they have made money to a certain degree or they've made fame, because not everybody who is popular is actually wealthy. If you remember the case of what's her name, Taraji P. Henson, she was the one that actually gave us a glimpse into the plight of Hollywood actors, where their taxes are so exorbitant that they barely take enough home compared to the fame that they have. Okay, so you find out that they are not really as wealthy as they are. So what I've noticed that we usually associate fame to wealth, and it's not the case, right? So that's one thing I've taken from celebrity news. You find out that, like human beings, they all have financial struggles. Many of them, not all of them, many of them have financial struggles. Many of them go through rough times. Many of them have family problems, like the late Rob Reiner, God rest his soul, with a wife, or the other guy, Jubilant, who were killed by their own children. They're all struggling with one problems or another. At the end of the day, they are just human beings that, unfortunately, thanks to internet technology and social media today, their businesses are out there. Okay, so that is one. Two, these people are not angels, they are not gods. They are subject to moments of weaknesses, like when Kirk Franklin was provoked with by his child, to the point where he used a swear word, and everybody was criticizing him because they felt, as a Christian, he shouldn't have used that language. Well, Christians to make mistakes, and we all have our struggles in different aspects of our lives. Some of us struggle with food, some of us struggle with language, some of us struggle with temper, and he's liable to make that mistake. He was allowed even as a Christian, and that makes me wonder why we feel that Christians have a higher standard of living, or are not allowed to make mistakes just for the fact that they are Christians. Now you have to know that in the body of Christ, there are sick people. Jesus came for the sick, like he said. He said, the well do not have need of a doctor, but rather the sick people. And there are sick people who come to the hospital who do not really want to be cured. They just found themselves in the hospital. Those are the Christians who are still struggling to make a commitment to their Christian journey. And there are Christian people who are weak, who are really, really struggling, but are finding it difficult to overcome that whatever problem or sickness, in this case, spiritual disease, that they are struggling with. And then there are Christians who have attained a certain level of grace, and they are living their lives. So some of the celebrities are just people who also have their weaknesses, who are allowed to make mistakes, you know, and they have their moments of weaknesses. Unfortunately, they manifest in ways that we don't expect them to manifest. Thirdly, what I noticed when listening to celebrity news is that not everything that we get to read in the blogs, or we get to see, to hear about through the grapevine, is true. It could be exaggerated, it could be underrated, just because, like I said at the beginning, people are trying to make money. You remember, before the internet, you would hear a certain version in a certain celebrity magazine, and the other version you would hear in another magazine, or a celebrity couple where the husband will tell his story to one celebrity magazine or channel, and the wife will say her story. And until you hear from the horse's mouth, that is why it's called celebrity gossip. You do not have the full picture to be able to judge these people. So it is really a waste of time for you to think that you can pattern, your lifestyle or your life choices by the lifestyles of these celebrities. Okay, one thing I love to listen to celebrity gossip is about their beginnings. Most times they're humble beginnings, the sweat, the blood that they put into making a name for themselves. And I'm talking about veterans like actors, people like Morgan Freeman, who had to work for years, people like Denzel Washington, who worked for years. You see, today we have people who are making it on social media, but they put in the sweat, they put in the hard work, and they didn't just become famous. But now that they are famous, everybody wants to be like them. We want to have the same level of fame, we want to have the same level of wealth, without looking at the history, without looking at the toiling aspect of their lives. And for me, there I love to follow celebrity gossip channels that give us that insight, that tell us, oh, this is what they did, this is how they diversified their income, this is how they diversified their wealth and gained more wealth. This is how they were able to make money work for them to the point where they are famous. This is how they handled failure when nobody wanted them, where doors were shut in their faces. What did they do when their families turned their back on them? What did they do to the point where they are people that we envy today? So those are the things you should be looking out for when you're watching celebrity news, when you're listening to celebrity gossip, whether you're reading or you're watching on social media. Try to find out the good side of these people that is worth emulating, that is worth incorporating into your life, that you can practice. For example, a lot of these actors had to start from theater plays. A lot of them had to turn their backs on their families. Taraji Henson will tell you how she left her family and came with only her son, and had to struggle in New York, not knowing anybody, taking that leap of faith. How did they do it? What were the pitfalls? How did they get reliable managers to manage them? How did they avoid being pawns in other people's games? How did they learn to choose people? How did they get to learn to trust people? How did they make the right circles? Because trust me, these people have fallen and risen time and time again before they became the celebrity stars that we are. And finally, the one thing that I found out is that at the end of the day, for many of them, they also are afraid. Like I said, they are human beings, right? And so there is that fear. We don't know the pressure they are under, either by producers or managers or godfathers. They are also under pressure, and the fear of going back to poverty, of going back to scratch, may be the influencing, may be the reason or the influence that makes them to compromise their values just to remain at the top. I was listening to a businessman. He says the biggest fear of a multimillionaire is to become a poor man. And for many people who are at the top, or many transactional people, we may say, the fear is to fail. The fear is to fall back to poverty or to loneliness for women, like the lady who is crying for over the pastor who abandoned her. It's a fear of abandonment. People are afraid that you're going to reject, they're going to be rejected, and so they compromise their values, just because they want to be kept, just because they want to maintain that status or that financial prosperity that they've attained. They want to be at that level. We're always afraid to go back to the scratch. But one thing I took from the life lessons of Steve Harvey, he said, when you fall, like in his case, when you've fallen twice, then you're no longer afraid. He said you can take anything or everything. He knows that he has once lost or twice lost everything and had to start from scratch. So if there's anything you can take with you to the new year is that if you have not, just like the celebrities, if you have not attained anything or if you have lost everything, once you are alive and you're healthy, my people say when there is health and life, then there's a guarantee for success. So once you're alive, you're well, just know that there is a tomorrow. You can change your story, you can become a better person, you can achieve the things that you didn't achieve this year or whatever time you had set the goal for yourself, and do it because you're still alive. So those are the things that I would suggest when you hear celebrity gossip. Look for those hidden nuggets, those success stories, those success chapters in the lives of these celebrity people, as opposed to going there to fight strangers over reputations that have been damaged, that can be rebuilt again. People can always rebuild their reputation. People can always rebrand and come back. There are people who have made a mess of their lives. And take a look at what is called what's his name now? Is it Snoop Doggy? He's an adult now, but he's really changed his brand. He's not the one we used to know when we grew up. So the same way these people fall and rise is the same way we who are not in the limelight can do the same thing. Those are the things I find we should be learning from these stories that we read on the internet or we watch on the internet. Having said that, I'm not going to repeat myself over and over again. I don't know Vivian Castillo. Good afternoon. How are you? Um, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Tomorrow is Sunday, probably not, but if I am, I hope I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye bye and enjoy the rest of your Saturday.